On December 3rd, 2021, at the Capitol Grill in Hartford, Connecticut, I met James O'Keefe for the first time. The dinner was attended by security, Jitsu, and Nightingale. At our meeting, James explained to me that my whistleblower story could not be told because I broke recording consent statutes in the state of Massachusetts. As naive as it sounds, at the time I was completely oblivious to recording statutes. I had no idea. James also informed me that the vials that I had provided to PV team members when they crossed state lines supposedly had broken some other state law. None of it made any sense. I was recording inside Pfizer every day. I was getting meetings with directors and executives. I was getting absolutely bombshell stuff and had uncovered Willy Wonka's golden ticket of whistleblower stories. If Project Veritas knew that the recordings I was getting inside Pfizer could never be released because of state recording laws, then why did they give me the recording equipment in the first place? The second rule at Project Veritas is do not break the law, and yet they knew the laws that would be broken by recording. Why did they string me along for 2.5 months? Brandon Monroe, aka Security, echoed my sentiment.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
And hindsight's 2020, and the lawyers never gave us input on that, which is why we did it. But in hindsight, what we should have done is we should have had you drive it across state lines, since you were the whistleblower. But because we did it, it was illegal. But you know, there's a lot going on with that, and you know, the thing that sucks is that the lawyers were kind of blaming us, even though the entire 3-month long investigation of that, they knew every step of the plan. Like, they knew all of it. So it was kind of shitty on the lawyers' part, in my opinion. But.
Right.
At the time, I was completely distraught and I pleaded with James to release the footage regardless, because at this point, I was desperate to help reveal the truth. James tried to use the FBI raid as a warning and massive excuse not to move forward with the story. Isn't Project Veritas' motto, be brave, do something? Well, I was being brave and doing something. James tried to talk me down from the whole thing, supposedly trying to reason with me.
I pointed out that the brave journalist, and many of you know who this person is, I'm not going to name anyone, who recorded the interaction was someone that I had to sit down over a year prior, remember, over dinner, for hours, talking off the proverbial ledge, insisting he take the long, arduous road to get the story about Pfizer, and indeed he did.
So, what the heck happened to you? Dr. Carrie Madej went on Stu Peters' show with a whistleblower from Pfizer, being me, who was working with Project Veritas, where there was going to be a huge expose that came out. But it turns out James O'Keefe thought it was a terrible idea to let me blow the whistle on everything and decided to spike my story. What I wanted to do at Project Veritas is go investigate and go try and make a difference with the blood clot stories that were going on and try and relate it to the vaccine that way, which we did. And then the journalist team that I was working with said that they were operating under legal advice from their lawyers. Lawyers and James were ultimately what spiked this story.
What I had uncovered at Pfizer, the public had a right to know. Period. James didn't talk me down for hours. He was at dinner for probably 40 minutes, had a bowl of soup, and left. Before he left that night, he went on to offer me employment at Project Veritas as an undercover journalist, which actually breached part of our contributor contract agreement. I went home that day in tears. Having the evidence of a crime against humanity resting on my shoulders and knowing that the story was going to be buried was absolutely heart-wrenching. But there was nothing that I could do about it. The story was now in the hands of James and PV, and I was left out to dry. I ended up staying at Pfizer for another 4 months and ended up going to work for PV as a UCJ. Why did I take the job after James spiked my story? Because I wanted to get my Pfizer story back.
And indeed he did.